Hi students, welcome to Vijeta IAS Academy Current Affairs class. Today's date is March 5th, 2022. Let us see some important news items that are highlighted in the newspaper, that is Hindu. Halt hostilities for evacuation. India urges Russia and Ukraine. As you know, war is going on between Russia and Ukraine. Now you can see in these places Russia now attacked Ukraine from different directions. Russian forces are occupying different cities of Ukraine. In the conflict, Indians are struck. Ukraine is a place for medical education. Many Indian students opted Ukraine for getting quality and affordable health care or affordable medical education. Because of that, many Indian students went to Ukraine. Now some of the students are struck. India is trying hard to bring them back home. Already India lost one life in this conflict, particularly in the areas of Sumy and Kharkiv. Now Indians are stranded. India is urging the parties at least have a local ceasefire so that India can evacuate these students safely. So far, 3,700 Indians from Ukraine returned on Friday, 17 special flights. Still, 1,000 more students are stuck in Kharkiv and Sumy regions. India is urging Russia and Ukraine at least have ceasefire till the time Indians or foreign nationals are come out of this conflict zone safely. The operation, which is the code name given to this operation, is Operation Ganga. It is important for prelims point of view. And in Supreme Court also suggested the center to open up online helpline so that families will get to know what whereabouts of the people making their way out of conflict zone in Ukraine. Now this is one issue going on. Meanwhile, international community brought one more resolution in UN forum to condemn Russia's war, and also it aimed to conduct or investigate human rights violations. Here this organization is UN Human Rights Council. India once again abstained on a vote at United Nations Human Rights Council. Before this forum, resolution came in UNSC also, United Nations Security Council, and United Nations General Assembly. In those two forums also India abstained from voting. Abstained means not voting on any side, either saying no or not saying yes. In Geneva, this time United Nations Human Rights Council held its meeting in Geneva. Geneva is the headquarters of UN Human Rights Council. The purpose of this resolution is decided to set up an international commission of inquiry into Russia's actions in Ukraine. The resolution strongly condemned aggression by Russia. It said gravely concerned about the reports of, these are the phrases which you remember, it can be used in mains: rights violation by Russian forces, civilian casualties, and forced displacement of 6 lakh plus refugees due to Russian bombing and shelling. Now these are the consequences of war. It will lead to a lot of human rights violations. Refugee crisis already started. According to UN estimates, more than 10 lakh people already affected due to this war. In this council, Human Rights Council, it brought resolution to condemn Russia and also to highlight the rights violated due to bombs. India was among 13 countries of 47 member council elected from UN members that abstained from the resolution. Along with India, other countries like China, Pakistan, these countries also abstained from voting. This is interesting to know that at United Nations or at world level, India is abstaining from voting. That is, indirectly we are not condemning Russia directly. Indirectly it is supporting Russia. On the other hand, India is trying to maintain good relationship with Western or US parties as well. While this voting is going on, PM also had a meeting with the Quad members as well. Quad is a membership which is having US, Japan and Australia. These three countries are in support of resolution and they voted against Russia in condemning. But in case of India, India is not directly condemning Russia, only abstaining from any type of voting. Senior officials also on the other side, US officials also making clear that US has spared no effort to convince India. While US is trying to pressurize India to vote in favor of US or against Russia, still India is maintaining its position that it is abstaining from voting because we have our own strategic interests with respect to Russia. Only Russia and Eritrea voted against the resolution. Russia has denied targeting civilian areas. Russia is saying they are not targeting any civilian people, only they are attacking the military installations. And they are only saying that it is only military operations, special military operation to safeguard Russia's interest or territorial integrity of Russia. But it is violating the human rights. UN Human Rights Council also bringing this resolution. Russian President Putin has accused the Ukraine government of attacks and human rights violation in the eastern Donbas region to justify military operations in Ukraine. He is saying that Ukraine is committing human rights violation in the eastern part of Ukraine, and in fact Russia is supporting the people who are losing lives against Ukraine government. This is how the Russia is trying to defend its actions. India has decided to abstain voting from here all the three forums. UN Security Council it decided, and UN General Assembly also abstained, Human Rights Council in Geneva, and UN International Atomic Energy Agency in Vienna. Here you can see the headquarters. Human Rights Council headquarters is at Geneva. IAEA is at Vienna. It was created in 1957, whereas Human Rights Council created in latest one 2006. IAEA, now IAEA is also in news because there is a news that a nuclear installation in Ukraine was under attack. But later, world community breathed safely that it is not affected the core installation. It is only a training center that got affected. IAEA, in that context, IAEA is in now news. It is related to atomic energy to safeguard the world from any catastrophic consequences of nuclear energy. Safety at 4 nuclear power stations and a number of nuclear waste sites, including Chernobyl, Russians seized control of them. So it is now in the news that now IAEA is conducting research, or it is now getting the reports that whether nuclear installations in Ukraine are safe or not. Because there is a news that Russia seizes Europe's largest nuclear plant. Here, this news is related to this particular plant, Zaporizhia. This is a nuclear plant, and there is a video clipping that there is a fire or missile fire related to or in the compound of this particular nuclear reactor. Now, had it been a proper fire, it would have caused catastrophic consequence to the Ukraine also and to the neighboring countries. Ukraine is having 4 important nuclear reactors and also one nuclear reactor, that is Chernobyl. In 1986, it got dissolved. It destroyed due to leakage. Now this Chernobyl, it is also containing a lot of nuclear waste. Now there is a danger to these nuclear stations as well. In that context, now IAEA is now in news. It is trying to safeguard these nuclear stations. Here the news is Russian forces seized the largest nuclear power plant in Europe. It is the largest nuclear power plant in entire Europe. Fears of potential nuclear disaster at this place had spread along across world capital before authorities said the fire in a building identified as a training center had been extinguished. So safely it was extinguished. It was only training center. it is not the real nuclear reactor. Europeans, meanwhile, the Ukraine president, Ukraine leader, he is now appealing to the Europeans to support Ukraine, at least in this case now. Europeans, please wake up. Tell your politicians, Russian troops are shooting at nuclear power plant in Ukraine. Ukraine leader said in a video address. Ukraine is trying to get the support from different countries, but different Western countries, USA and India and China, they have different strategic interests. Now they are following different strategies to contain this particular crisis. India always maintained that United Nations and peaceful diplomacy is the only solution. It always urged Ukraine and Russia come together to the negotiation table and solve the differences. But the real conflict, the situation is different. Now it is a threat for nuclear reactors also. Once any nuclear reactor blasts, it will have a lot of consequences. Early reports of the incident at the power plant sent financial markets. Now it will have consequences on other areas, financial, economic, oil related, and in many areas now it will have effects. Early reports, financial markets with stocks tumbling and oil prices surging further. Already oil prices are going since the beginning of this conflict. Now such kind of incidents will increase the prices of oil further. Now entire world will bear the burden of this particular crisis. Russia had already captured the defunct Chernobyl plant north of Kyiv, which spewed radioactive waste over much of Europe when it melted down in 1986. When it got melted down in 1986, it had consequence on entire Europe. Now if there is any danger now, it will also will have impact on Europe. These are the nuclear power plants in Ukraine. Now there is a danger for these nuclear power plants also. It will have a lot of consequences. IAEA had confirmed through its agency contacts as well as directly from the plant that no security or safety system has been compromised. So it is saying that as of now nuclear power plant is safe, that no reactors were hit by the projectile which hit the training building. India's permanent representative, now in this case, now you can see, you can connect. India is abstaining from voting. On the other hand, India is trying to maintain relations with West and USA on forums like Quad. Even India's permanent representative to UN says India attaches, in this case, what is India's response? India attaches the highest importance to ensuring safety and security of nuclear facilities, as any accident involving the nuclear facilities may have severe consequences for public health and environment. This is the official statement of India's opinion. He also emphasized that a humanitarian crisis was confronting Ukraine. India has been concerned about lives of its nationals caught in the conflict and reiterated India's position, calling for a resolution of differences through dialogue and respect for UN Charter and sovereignty of nations. This is the stand always India maintained since the beginning of this conflict. India maintains UN Charter should be respected, sovereignty of nations should be respected. It means indirectly the Ukraine sovereignty should be respected by Russia. However, Russia's action is not condemned openly through voting by India. So this is the stand, neutral stand as of India is maintaining, because India has its own strategic interests with Russia. This is about international and the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. Next news is about polity. Polity here, this is you can use in GS2 also. It is related to Anti-Conversion Bill, related to freedom of religion, polity. And also if there is any consequence of this bill, you can expect something in society as well in GS1. This is about Haryana Prevention of Unlawful Conversion of Religion Bill 2022. The news is about Haryana government introduced Anti-Conversion Bill. This anti-conversion bill, it prohibits conversion by allurement, coercion or fraudulent means, etc. during the budget session. This is the, here our point of focus is, if there is any forced conversion, the law now trying to stop such kind of forced conversions. Naturally, it is getting opposition from the opposition MLAs. There was protest against this bill in the assembly. Here we have to see the role of district magistrate. The news is highlighting about the role of district magistrate. It does not stop anyone who is willingly converting, provided that person submits an application for willful conversion to the district magistrate. Any religious priest or any person intending to organize a conversion shall give prior notice to the district magistrate above venue. If a person wants to convert to other religion, he can give the notice, or if any person or priest want to convert many people, they should give the notice to district magistrate. District magistrate will put this notice for 30 days. If there is no objection from anyone, conversion can go ahead. If there is any opposition to this, or if there is any concern for anyone, DM shall investigate and decide the matter. DM shall decline the intended conversion by passing a reasoned order if it is not as per law. If he or she finds the particular conversion is part of forced one, allurement, then district magistrate can cancel the particular permission. An appeal, however, if the intended parties are not happy with the district magistrate, they can appeal also against the order passed by DM before divisional commissioner within 30 days. So this is the provision within this particular law. Now you can link with various issues. Here it is talking about conversion. Conversion, that means religious belief. Indian Constitution is giving fundamental right to practice, profess, propagate one's religion. It is a fundamental right. Now there is a debate and opposition that it is a fundamental right, and also the particular allurement or coercion, this particular principle or this particular clause is more prone to misinterpretation. Now no one knows what is exactly coercion and allurement means, and those whoever is particularly it targets minorities, it will create distrust in minority community. So these are the various issues. From tomorrow onwards we may see different debates and different articles on this particular law. So here news is saying about Haryana prevention of unlawful conversion of religion and district magistrate, what are the provisions, and it is trying to prohibit conversion by allurement, coercion or fraudulent means. This is about this particular news. Next news is related to GS3, environment, and you can expect in prelims related to environment and biodiversity. New gin berry species discovered in Tamil Nadu. Here one organization, Botanical Survey of India, it discovered a new species from Kanyakumari Wildlife Sanctuary in Tamil Nadu. Species is endemic to the southern Western Ghats, utilized for medicinal values and food. And the species, an evergreen small tree, was found as undergrowth in Tirunelveli semi-evergreen forest as this forest section of wildlife sanctuary. The discovery not only re-emphasized the uniqueness and endemism in Western Ghats flora. Here we have to see Botanical Survey of India and also the particular wildlife sanctuary. Here you can think of the Western Ghats, various important wildlife sanctuaries and national parks in the Western Ghats. And here in our news, now here in Tirunelveli district, this particular wildlife sanctuary is located where this particular species is identified. And other some of the important national parks and sanctuaries you can find here, Nilgiri, and in different places you can remember some of the important national parks and wildlife sanctuaries in Tamil Nadu. You remember the physical geography where Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats meet, and some of the important forests and also national parks in this location. Here we can identify the Western Ghats and the forest area. Botanical Survey of India. It works under Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, and it was founded in 1890, headquarters Kolkata. Such kind of facts are useful for prelims. To explore, maintain inventory and documentation of plant diversity or plant life in India. It is the main objective of Botanical Survey of India. It is located in Kolkata. It do conduct research in every part of the country and maintains the documentation of species diversity with respect to plants. This is about Botanical Survey of India. These are the important news items in today's newspaper. Thank you.